Okay, this is PT804 Shark Development Lab, and before we get started, we want to make sure that everything that we needed are available. We're gonna be needing number 10 and number 15 scalpel, as well as 2 pairs of gloves and a wound measurement transparency, plus one suture removal kit, which consists of the scissors and the forceps. We'll be also needing a paper or notepad for our notes and a calculator for our computation. Now, the first thing we're going to be doing is the surface area measurement. I got here the hem hack that we're going to be using, and we're going to be measuring this one over here. Yeah, so we're going to get the transparency, and when measuring wounds, we would want to use the centimeter instead of the inches. So for this one, we need to get the longest width and the longest length. Okay. So this is about 3.2 centimeters, and okay, 3.5 centimeters. So 3.2 plus okay, it's gonna be 11.2 centimeters squared. The next thing we're gonna do is the shaving or paring. Now, to do this, we're gonna be needing a number 10 scalpel. Okay, actually, the two most common scalpel blades that we use as physical therapists are the number 15 and the number 10. But for shaving or paring calluses, we use number 10. To hold the scalpel, we hold this between the third and the fourth fingers with the blade on the palm side. Now the fingers are wrapped around the scalpel with the fingers resting on the serrations. So before we start, we're going to be working on this area. Before we start, we want to make sure that the wrist is supported on a stable surface or on the table, so that we can actually control the side-to-side movement over here and not on the elbow or the shoulder. So to start with, we hold the scalpel at about 45 degree angle to get the tissue like this. And as we reach down, we're gonna flatten out. Okay. And remember, the side-to-side movement should be coming from the wrist. Okay. Okay, here. And the shaving should be small and superficial flex. Okay, so this is after a few shaving has been done, and you can see here that the other side is still red and the other side is pink. Okay, over here. Now I'm gonna do a little bit more of shaving. and it's going to be like angulated about 45 degrees. And then once the stitches have gone, kind of flatten out to get the tissue. It has to be slow. And the flex should be transparent. So when we do this, and like if the fleck doesn't really come off like this, we're not supposed to pull it. Okay, then we're just going to continue with the side to side movement until it come off. This time we're going to be doing the cross-hatching or scoring. Now with this one, we'll be using the number 15 scalpel. Okay. And to do the cross-hatching or scoring, we'll be using, we're going to be holding the scalpel like a pencil. Wherein this one is held on the first web space. And just like the other one, all fingers will be on the serrations of the scalpel. Okay. And make sure that the fingers are not close to the blade. Okay. So I'm going to be using this area, the other side. Okay. With the wrist on a stable surface. Okay, we're gonna cut the tissue parallel and perpendicular, just like a tic-tac-toe board. Okay, so we're gonna start with this one. Okay, and also when we do this, we're not gonna be using the tip, but the curve of the scalpel, of the blade. Okay, okay, like that. And as we cut the tissue, we want to make sure that it's not going to be too deep. Okay. Like this. Okay. So we're going to do here. Gonna do okay, 1, 2, okay. Okay. That's it. And this will be the last thing we're going to do is the braid using forceps and scissors. Now with this one, I just put it on a cup to hold the hem hook face such that the one bed is facing me. Okay, now with this one, we'll be using forceps and scissors. We use the scissors on the dominant hand with the thumb and the fourth finger on the scissor rings and the index finger on the shaft. Okay, and this is what we call this 3-point fixation. Now the tips of the scissors are pointed upward, or should be pointed upwards throughout the different process, and the forceps is held in the non-dominant hand. Now with this one, it could be like here in the first web space, or in the palmar surface of the hand, depending on the therapist who'll be doing the different. Now with this one, we pick up the necrotic tissue, okay, like this, and then with the scissors pointing upward, we cut the tissue parallel to the wound bed. Okay, this. Okay. We're gonna pick it up again. Scissors pointing upward and cut the tissue parallel to the wound bed. Okay, there we go. Okay, and as we do the cutting of the necrotic tissue, we can just do like small cuts or snippings, just to make sure that we're not gonna be cutting the viable tissue. And we're gonna be doing this until we get the light blue color. Okay, so as you can see, okay, here, probably a little bit more. Okay, and also when we cut, we'll be using just the middle third of the point of the scissors, and not the whole length of the blade. Okay. Okay. So this is it. Okay. It actually looks like it's still dark, but as you can see, the area that we have at work with compared to the area that we took out some of the necrotic tissue is actually lighter. I just can't get the good angle to see that. Okay, so this will actually take a while because of the large area of necrotic tissue. So I'm gonna do and work on this and just tape the finished product.